Hello there, everybody, and welcome to episode 27 of the Julie the Knitter podcast. This is a podcast mainly about knitting and whatever other craftiness I happen to be getting into. I am coming to you live from Queens, New York, where I live with my handsome husband, my two crazy kids, and my wild beast of a dog, who, as you see, is currently trying to get into my lap. But it has been a few weeks, and oh my goodness. Well, one, I didn't record last time. It was my normal weekend to record because, I didn't feel like I had all that much to talk about. And then, let me tell you, it has been one hell of a week around here in the Julie the Knitter household. Maybe I'll get into that a little bit later. But I figured before it goes on too long without an update here, I figured I would check in, do a quick little episode, and show you guys what I've been working on. So, I know the last time we spoke, I had been practically finished with my Bennett Sisters shawl. And this is a pattern by Lost and Found over on Instagram. I'm blanking on her name at the moment, but I have said it so many times on this podcast in the previous weeks that you could check it if you don't know it by now. But Lost and Found on Instagram, and it is the Bennett Sisters shawl, and I knit this up. Come on, Saoirse. Go lay down. Come on. Go to bed. Okay. See how long that lasts. In some yarn by Woolberry Fiber Company. And this is it. It is finally blocked, and I have tassels, and it is done, and they're woven in, and it is beautiful. And as you can see, this is the side without mohair, and this is the side with mohair. So it's not a huge color difference, which is nice. You can see there the patterning, the texture change. We have garter stitch and stockinette, and some tassels. Because, come on, who doesn't love a fun tassel? It's like a pom-pom. They're fun. I looked up a tutorial on YouTube on how to make tassels because the pattern itself doesn't really provide much of a how-to. And so I looked it up. And Melody of Bee Mandarins actually has a great tutorial on YouTube, and that's what I used. So I made some tassels. I used 2 strands of the fingering weight and yarn and 1 strand of the mohair. So they're nice and fluffy and soft, and all I have to say about this is, okay, guys, I get it. I finally get why mohair has been all the rage, adding it into your knitting in the last year, I guess. I know that everybody has been putting it into their hats, their sweaters, their shawls, and I figured I'd try it out for myself, and I get it. This shawl, while it is perfectly massive, so it's just the right size for being oh so comfy and cozy over your shoulders. It has been really nice also in my jacket, just wrapped up like this. There are little tassels. The mohair gives a nice weight to it. It's nice and soft. It's got a density to it that the other half of it doesn't. So it's nice. It's nice to have the different things going on in this pattern. It was a great pattern to knit up. It was just the right kind of mindfulness where you have to think a little bit like where the decreases are, where are you splitting for the stockinette versus the garter stitch sections. And to be honest, I just put a marker there, and it just really kept it simple. So it was a nice thing to work on in the evenings when you're just too tired to really work on anything else. Anyway, here it is. It is finished in all its glory, and I was so happy to be able to get a little bit of wear out of it before it got too warm. It's a little warm today, so it's not getting much wear today, but it's still early spring here in New York, and we still get some pretty cool days, so it's nice to be able to have something to throw on. Because I don't have a million other shawls, right? But no, it's really nice, and I have been loving it. The color is nice. It's nice neutral. It's a pale blush pink, I would say. Here, I'm getting the plain side, the non-mohair side. And it's got this just nice soft blush pink, and it's got little pops of an eggplant purple in there, and there's little pops of bright pink. It's just a nice speckled color. And then I threw in the mohair on the other half, which the coloring was similar. It had a little bit more orange to it. So what's nice is that it's not a drastic change. I see so many of the shawls and the color is so different on one half to the other, and I like that this isn't a huge change. It's very subtle, but I just love the way the colors work together. I love the way it feels. I love the tassels. It's a win-win, guys. I am really loving this shawl. It's almost a shame that spring is coming. Spring is here, but the warm weather is on its way, and I won't get much wear out of this until next year. But it's been really nice having this around. And I love how big it is. I like a good big shawl. They're very cozy. I love that there's an I-cord edge on all the edges. It just gives a nice clean look to it. And I've just been pleased as punch with this finished product. I've also been working on my Ixchel sweater. I will be honest, I don't know if that is the correct pronunciation of that sweater pattern name, but that's what I'm going with, Ixchel. I believe it is by Catherine Clark. And this was in the Pom Pom issue number 26, which I believe came out in the fall. And it is a pullover sweater with all over color work. I'm trying to find the front page of my pattern. And it's just got this great color work with phases of the moon, and it's just got a lot going on. And when I saw this pattern, I said, wow, that's really awesome. And I really wanted to knit it, so I've been kind of waiting to knit this since it came out, for months at this point. And it's a little intimidating. It's a lot of color work, and it's a big sweater. There's not much ease to it, which means that there's no finished measurements. It's not going to have much stretch to it. So if it's too small, well, it's too small and you're out of luck. It's not going to give all that much. And if it's too big, well, you know, it's too big and it's not really going to shrink down. Well, I guess you could felt it. But whatever. My point being that there's little to no ease. It's designed to have, I think, 0 to 2 inches of ease. I fell in between sizes, so I went up to the bigger size. And this way, you know, a little more room for error. There's a little bit more give. So I knit the 40-inch size, and I got a lot of work done since we last spoke. So the last time we spoke, hold on, I can tell you, because I have my stitch marker here. I was up here. So I had not split for the sleeves yet. And I was just about to start these moons. But since then, I have done the moons. I have split for the sleeves. And I have a few more rows left in the chart that I'm on, and there's one more chart to knit, and then it's ribbing to go. So the body, I'd say the body is like about 80% done at this point, and then I have sleeves to knit. So the sleeves have a little bit less of the color work going on, so I think they might zoom by, I'm hoping, because who loves being stuck on Sleeve Island? But they just have a little bit of detail going along, like down the arm. It's not so much round, so that's nice. I have just been loving working on this, and this past week was crazy. My son was actually in the hospital for quite a few days this week, and so I've been there, and I've had my knitting, and there have been some days that I've just been absolutely too knackered to even look at my knitting. But there's been, you know, when you're stuck at a hospital for days on end, it was nice to have something to take your mind off of things, and I did. So I got quite a lot done this week. So I don't know if it's just a color work thing, or maybe it's just that I had too much time on my hands, or maybe some combination of both, but I find that color work zooms. Have you noticed that? I really thought that this sweater, I mean, granted, I still have quite a bit of a ways to go, But I really thought that this sweater, the body of the sweater, would take me a long time to knit, like 6 months, you know? But it's really been just zooming along. And it's the, I should mention the yarn that I'm using. It is Sweet Sparrow yarns in her, the yellow is Butterbeer color way, and the purple, I want to say it's called Joanie. And they are both in her Gosling color base, which is an MCN blend. So it's 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. And guys, when I tell you that this is just like a dream to work with, I mean it. The colors work so nicely together. I think it'll be a real nice color for me to wear. I like purple. I think it looks nice with my eyes. But I'm really excited for the sweater, and I'm loving how it's working up. I'm really excited to block it out when it's done, because color work always looks a little bumpy before you block it, and this is no exception. But I'm pleased with the tension. I feel like it's fairly even throughout the whole garment so far, and I'm just really happy with it. I have finished this arrow. It's hard to hold this up, I'm sorry. I finished this arrow chart all the way that goes down here. And then for the most part, it's this chart L around the body for a few more rows. I'm just almost done with that. And then there's one more chart, like I mentioned, and some ribbing. So I'm loving this. I'm so glad to see that this is moving along. That being said, I haven't started anything new, because I have just been so enamored with this pattern. I just have been loving picking it up. At work, I've been, you know, on my lunch break, just doing a few rows here. I'm just getting a few rows done every day, and it's just moving along. I've been loving it. So, those of you who are into sweater guts, check them out. Check out those floats. They're nice. I know. I love them. Some people are nerdy like that, and they like to see the insides. I don't blame them. I like it too. But there you go. Those are my sweater guts. And that's it. That's really all I've been working on the last few weeks. Really excited to see that coming along. I just am loving the way it's coming up. Is there any other ways I can say that? I'm sorry, I'm out of focus. Let's see if I come into focus again. There we go. Okay, so since I don't have all that much to talk about, I figured I would talk about the latest issue of Making that came in the mail recently. And what I like about the Making magazines in general is that they're not just knitting. They have sewing, they have sometimes, this one has weaving, they have quilting, they have crochet, they've got all kinds of different things. And it's a publication for makers. I'll describe it that way. So this particular issue is the desert theme. So you'll see a lot of, this picture actually is a perfect depiction of the color inspiration that you see in this magazine. I don't know if you can even call it a magazine, it's a book. But there's a lot of really cool patterns in there, and which I've never even thought about, a needlepoint coaster, which I thought was really cool looking. But I saw these really cool coasters in here that there's embroidery, there's needle felting, which I've done needle felting. I don't love doing needle felting, so I don't really see myself doing much of that. But there's a leather tool roll, a leather clutch. There's actually a really nice segment in here about using different elements in the nature to make natural pigments, such as like rocks and things that you find in the soil and clay and the different colors that you can get. And it was really cool because it actually, I sent it to my mom, because my mom paints a lot, and I noticed she was really interested in doing if you use pigments, blanking on the term, but you can mix it with the yolk of an egg, and it gives it's a cool technique to make egg tempera paints. So it's a technique that was actually used a lot with like Renaissance painting and like the iconoclast era, so to speak. I'm sure I'm butchering the names. It gives a really cool shine, and it's very durable paints. But I thought it was really cool that they had a few pages devoted to, to making those pigments themselves. And you can mix them into paint, you can make them into natural dyes. There's all kinds of different things you could use, different things you can use in nature, and different uses for them that they talked about. And I thought that was really cool. It actually gave you another page that showed you, different elements from nature and the colors that they gave you, like when you dyed with them versus made them into watercolor paints or what have you. I thought that was really cool. There was also, there's knit stuff also. There was a weaving project, which I don't have a loom. I don't plan on weaving anytime soon. Not to diss it or anything like that. I think it's pretty cool. I need another hobby like I need a hole in the head. So it's a rabbit hole that I'm purposely staying away from at this point. Maybe someday in the future, who knows, but I'm not there yet. But I thought these were really cool. They're like a pleated pot holders. And you could use them as coasters, pot holders, whatever. It was a really cool pattern. I thought that was pretty interesting. There's macrame. They usually have like recipes for a food or a drink, and this one has it's a desert menu, they call it, but it's pork carnitas, and the recipes, it's delicious, and it shows you how to make the tortillas for it. And there was a nice drink, which didn't sound all that much up my alley, but I can imagine it being really nice during the summer, using hibiscus simple syrup. And how to make the hibiscus simple syrup sounds like something I would make for my mom. I bet you she would enjoy it. But yeah, there were some really cool things. There was a nice dress in here called the Emerald dress, and it was just, I like the stuff. I like that their stuff is very simple. So this is the dress that was in there, and I think that would be perfect for the spring and the summer. There was, stuff for leggings. I'm not a huge legging wearer. Like I'll wear them when I'm running or doing yoga, but I don't really wear them out like a lot of people do. So, but there was how to make your leggings, and there was a little backpack, like a drawstring backpack, which is really cute, and I could see myself making that. And there was a few cool sweaters and shawls and stuff like that in here. And I just have to say that every time these come out, I really enjoy digging into them. And I always say, I'm going to make like everything in here. I never get to make everything in here because there's just not enough hours in the day. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm leaning forward and it's probably not the best posture, and I'm sure my mom is sitting there saying, just sit up straight. But I am leaning forward. But I just love that this exists. That it has, something for everybody. There's something for all the different makers out there, and I like that. And that being said, like that's really all I've been making. I have been getting back into bread making. I have a sourdough starter again, and I actually have some pizza dough. I'm making sourdough pizza dough, and it is currently rising for its first rise, and I'm excited to be having that back. We had really delicious sourdough bread last week, and I missed having homemade bread. I'm happy to have it back, and the kids like it, my husband likes it, and everybody's happy, and it goes nice with everything, and that's all. That's really all I've been working on. So that being said, I'm going to end it here. I hope you all are enjoying the beautiful weather. I know we were out walking earlier. My son took his bike, and we walked up to my brother's house and paid them a visit, which was nice. And that's all. suffice it to say, everything is as it should be today. And I'm glad to be home and everybody is good. So, peace out. Have a great week. Happy making. And I hope to be back soon. Bye.